What is going on, my friends? Thank you so much for coming back here today. As always, greatly appreciated that you take your time out to listen to me talk about knives. Okay, so here is my review of the Miguron knives Moyarl. I always have a really hard time saying that, Moyarl. I have no idea what that means. I think it's funny that these Chinese companies come up with these names for knives. God knows what the hell it means. But anyway, I've carried this knife extensively for quite a while. I wanted to get this review up sooner. However, I just didn't think I had had enough time with it, carrying it and using it to give it really a good, thorough review. So that's why it's been a while since I posted the first impressions video. So if you want to see the first impressions video, go check that out. It's listed down below somewhere on my channel. And of course, I will leave a link in the description below as to where you can get this knife. I purchased this direct from Miguron. It didn't take that long to get here. Surprising, because I believe it came direct from China to California and then from California to me. So yeah, I think that whole process was like 2.5 weeks or something like that. So actually pretty damn good, considering how far it had to get here and then clear customs and all that stuff. So anyway, this is a budget knife, guys. You're looking at about $47 to get this knife. So yes, definitely within the budget range when it comes to modern day locking folding knives. And yeah, so I had a very interesting experience or time with this knife, because when I first got it, I was initially very, very impressed with it. Then I carried it and used it for a little while, and that sort of honeymoon phase, if you will, sort of wore off. And then I wasn't really that impressed with it. And then I carried it some more, and then I learned to really appreciate it again. So we'll talk about that in a second. So let's get right into it. What we have here for handle material is G10. This is like a peel ply textured G10. It's very, very nicely done. Very thick G10. And this is OD green, and they do have, I believe, a black G10 version as well that you can get, which is really cool because it has some blue accents, like a blue pivot collar, and I think it has some maybe some blue hardware or something like that, but or a blue clip. I'm not really sure. Go check it out on the website. But yeah, so you got this G10, which is very nicely done. You got 2 body screws here, a couple body screws here, and the pocket clip screws. You get a milled titanium pocket clip, which is very interesting and cool because you know, you normally don't see that kind of feature on a budget knife, something that costs $47. You normally do not get this. You normally get like a very cheap you know, steel clip. We're gonna talk about the clip because this is actually an area of contention for me, but we'll get into that. Nice pivot collar there, and then you get the Miguron symbol there. So overall, a very nice, clean-looking design. Ergos are actually very neutral. So yeah, this is in terms of profile for the handle and everything, is actually really cool and very attractive, I think. Now, you have full steel liners that are not nested, and once again, this is an area of contention for me, is these liners. You get a pretty thick G10 backspacer, yeah, and for deployment, no flipper. You just have this thumb hole here, and the knife deploys very, very nicely with a thumb flick. And it also deploys nicely with a middle finger flick as well. So I actually like doing both. I kind of prefer the thumb deployment on this, but it is very, very fun to do the middle finger flick or Spidey flick with this. It works great. Action on this is fantastic. This is a liner lock. You can see here, access to the liner is very, very good. No problem there. In fact, it's very, very easy to access the lock here, and that's very appreciated. I don't like it when manufacturers, and I've even seen this in much higher end manufacturers, they just don't think too much about access to the liner. If it's a liner lock, and that makes it very difficult to use. Not the case here with this knife. Very, very easy to disengage and shut. Now, the action on this is beautiful. It's probably one of the most impressive things about this knife. Is its action. It is silky smooth. I think it is definitely on bearings. I did not open this knife up to take a look, but I'm almost positive it is on bearings. And you can check that out down in the specs on Miguron's website. But I mean, it is a joy to open and close. It's got a great fidget fat. Whoops. It's got a look at that. Look what I did to my little lamp here. Man, that's embarrassing. All right, it's got a very fidgety action. So if you're into that kind of thing, this is going to be great for that. Ergos are fantastic. It's one of the great things about this knife. You got a really nice size handle. I have like medium-sized hands to like medium to small medium-sized hands, and this fits fantastic. But you can see here there's a lot of extra grip coming out here. It's got this awesome forward choil area right here, which is just great. I mean, you can just really get a nice purchase on this thing, and it's great. Can't complain at all about the ergos. And this handle is very thick. It is one of the things I dislike about this knife is the fact that this handle is just really, really thick. Now, some people are going to really like that because if you're one of those people that has bigger hands and you prefer a big handle to sort of fill out your hand, you're probably going to appreciate that. For me, for an EDC knife, which is what this is, not a heavy work knife or, an outdoor survival knife or anything like that. I prefer thinner handle stock, and this is very, very thick. Now, the reason for that is I've got these are very thick steel liners, and they're full liners. They're not nested. If they were nested in the G10, this would actually get a little bit thinner, and it would just be, I think, overall a much better package for me for an EDC knife. But like I said, some people may appreciate that extra thickness to fill out the hand. Moving on to the blade. The blade on this thing is fantastic. It is a very, very attractive, nice drop point. We already talked about this forward choil area here, which is great for getting up to do nice close work. You can grab it back here, but it's kind of weird because you got all this extra space. You're probably going to get hung up on the choil here. The best way to grab it is just like this, and you can really, really press into cuts with this thing, and it's just great ergonomically speaking. But the blade, it's got a very, very nice thin grind. This is a flat grind, but it's a very, very, it's basically a full flat grind. You got this line here, but I mean, look at that. It's like flat all the way up to here, and it's very nicely thin behind the edge. So they got the grind really, really good on this. Thumb hole is awesome. It's sort of a very common hole shape. This blade shape and the way this knife actually handles kind of reminds me of a Voxnest design. If I didn't know any better and I looked at this knife or this knife where I would say offered in a more premium version in like Giant Mouse's lineup or something like that, I'd be like, yeah, Voxnest definitely designed this. It handles like it, and even the blade is just, it's very Vox-ish or ish. And, this is the exact shape of hole that he likes to use on his blades, and even the shape and everything. But it's just a fantastic blade. It cuts extremely well. I've put it through all kinds of cutting. You can see the blade is pretty dirty. I've really sort of worked this blade pretty damn good. I didn't even have to sharpen it. All I did was strop it a couple of times, and it came right back. And that is because the steel on this is a very good steel for budget knives. 14C28N. It seems to be like the new D2. Remember when all these Chinese companies were producing knives in D2? That seems to have passed for the most part, and companies are now using 14C28N, which is a great steel. It's known for its toughness more than I think its edge retention, but it has very good edge retention as well, and it's very affordable. So I love this steel, and it has great stainless properties as well. It is considered a stainless steel. So yeah, very, very good blade steel, and a fantastic edge geometry and blade profile and blade geometry. This is just great. So overall, you got the action, which is fantastic. You got the ergos, which is, in my opinion, great. Materials are very, very good, especially for budget. Because you have titanium in this clip, or this is a titanium milled clip, 14C28N blade that's done really, really well. G10, which, you can find even on higher end knives like Spyderco's and things like that. G10 is just a great handle material. I do only have really 2 problems with this knife, and they were big problems for me. And then I started to carry this knife and use it some more and really learn to appreciate it. I was able to overlook those problems for me. One, of course, is this thickness. Like I said, this knife does not carry very well in the pocket for 2 reasons. The thickness, which it's just a little too much for me, and the pocket clip. This pocket clip is really interesting because it's something that calls this knife out as sort of unique within this price range, because it is a milled titanium pocket clip. So you may be thinking like, oh great, you don't really get this type of feature in this price range. So yeah, great on you, Miguron. However, it's not deep pocket carry. In fact, it's pretty shallow carry. This much of the knife sticks up out of your pocket, and that's a lot for me. And I have come to appreciate deep pocket clips much more as I move on through my knife collecting hobby career, and I love a nice deep pocket carry clip. And I would have actually appreciated just a simple steel high deep pocket clip more than this milled titanium clip. I think it ruins the carryability of this knife for me. I don't like that much knife sticking up out of my pocket. That is, that's quite a bit. It's very high profile, and it's just something that I just don't like it. I don't like it stylistically, and also, if people are worried about someone carrying a knife, which is absolutely ridiculous, but it does happen, I just don't like it. The clip itself works great. This ramp here is a little bit on the tight sides, but it's not that bad. It comes in and out of the pocket pretty easily, and with this G10, which is smoothed out pretty good, no problems there. But I just want to show you guys real quick the type of clip that I would have appreciated being on this knife. It's even simpler and would have been cheaper. Right here, this is a Kubi. I love this knife. We're going to take a look at this knife in a little while. This is probably going to be my next budget knife reviewing knife. This is the Kubi Momentum. But look at this clip. Just a simple steel deep pocket clip. I would have highly appreciated this type of clip on this knife. Maybe position this screw back a little bit more over here, bring this clip positioning over here, and a deep pocket, a simple steel deep pocket clip. Now, I know they're using this clip as sort of a selling feature of this knife, but for me, it's definitely a downside. It looks cool, but it's just I don't like it. It's not for me. And the thickness of the knife. So other than those two things, this is a great knife. And I was gonna pass it on to a friend of mine. You know, a lot of times, like, you know, when I don't keep every single budget knife that I have. Sometimes I'll group them together and sell them in lots on eBay, or I'll pass them on to friends, or I'll keep them if I really, really like it. And this one was going to get passed on to a friend, but I decided I would keep it because I learned to really just appreciate it. You know, it's a very good user. It's a great knife. And for $47, this is a very good option for an EDC. If you don't mind the thickness and the shallow carry clip, this is a great knife. And I can actually even look past those things. Even though they bother me, I can look past it and really enjoy this for what it is. A great tool and a fantastic knife at this price. So that is it for me today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Check out this knife if you like this design, and you know, if what I said here helped you make a decision on whether or not to buy this. The quality, the build, the materials, all of it is excellent. Like I said, the two things that I mentioned that I don't like about this knife may not be an issue for you, but for me, they're small issues that were, you know, they were bigger at one point than they really are. And overall, fantastic knife. I'm pleased with it, and I can recommend it if those issues don't bother you. And for the price, it's awesome. It's amazing, actually, that you can get this type of quality for this price now. I would say about 10 years ago, actually, I'm sorry, I would say about even 6 years ago, this was unheard of, this type of quality, this type of action, this buttery smooth, nice action for this money. Couldn't get it 6 years ago, and now you can. So it's one of the great things about Chinese OEMs and manufacturers is that they are producing stuff like this. There are some downsides to that, and I think I'm going to make a video a little bit about where I stand on the whole country of origin thing on knives. It's a very controversial issue, but I should probably get my opinion out there just for the hell of it. All right. Thank you so much, guys. Till next time, stay safe. Have a wonderful weekend. Talk to you soon. Bye.